Alright boys, today's a special day. I may have clickbaited you a little bit, but not really. I'm just talking about everything bad about part 2. It's not bad, but here are the small things that are still bad that carried in the game. Let's just say that. So let's start off with everything good about part 2. Mechanics are great, okay? They're amazing. PvP is actually kind of fun again. The overdrive kick that connects into combos, that's pretty freaking broken. The overdrive itself, even though you can get failed back to back 3 times, if it does enough damage, it will KO the opponent. So it's kind of like a Rising Rush 2.0. I kind of keep underestimating the overdrive and the tackle follow-up that changes from the ground to the sky or vice versa, and the ground game itself, that's freaking amazing. And the unique animations, I've still yet to see all the unique animations of all of the overdrives, because there's what do you call it, destructive finishes or whatever. There's also finishes on the ground depending on what you do. There's also amazing other stuff, animations that I haven't seen, not to mention the unique Dobaki Baki between Goku and Vegeta. That's also amazing. So it's a lot of good stuff that came out of part 2. And also they fixed the web store. The web store is amazing, okay? The fact that I got free 1.5k CCs and that came in clutch to summon my freaking LF Goku, that's woo-wee! Yeah, so now with that over, I may have oversimplified and over-summarized all the good, and it may seem a little bit disproportionate thinking, oh, Yaruji only thinks part 2 is bad because he only talked about all the stuff that is good for 1 minute, and then the rest of the video he's talking about everything bad. No. This video is just talking about everything bad. If I talked about my overall opinion on part 2, it will literally be like 30 minutes long, and 24 minutes would be me talking about everything good and diving deep, and then 6 minutes will be talking to me about my nitpicks and all that. So nothing here is actually bad. It's more like why it's still not, why it can't be great, why it isn't great, you know? So let's start off with the first point. Graphics are fucking cooked. I need to re-emphasize, graphics are so cooked right now, okay? The dust, I don't know what kind of dust particles you're using, Legends, but that shit's in fucking 16 or 32k. I don't know why it lags the fuck out of my 13 Pro. It's freaking weird. I know they said, oh, you know, we recommend iPhone 11 stats or higher, but bro, I mean, I do understand as well that I'm screen recording in the background, so that kind of diminishes the power, but with that also being said, I have a 13 Pro, Legends. That's easily still like a 1k phone now, $1k phone over, and I still want to play the game at max settings. So the fact that it was completely fine before that, and now with all these ground mechanics and stuff, it's getting a bit cooked. And not to mention all of the amazing long LF animations that didn't really lag. To be fair, it is pre-rendered, pre-made, or whatever the fuck, so whatever is being shown is already like the most efficient animation. But you know, the dust particles, the moving around, I feel like it's not polished. So that kind of carries over to the next point, where the mechanics are great, but they're not polished, okay? To the level where I want it to be amazing, right? It's not polished to a 9 out of 10. It's more like an 8 out of 10 or an 8.5, and it's more like the debut of these mechanics and the debut of this update where I don't know. It may just be me, but it's only been like less than a week of this new update, so I can't pinpoint. Okay, graphics aside, the new mechanics in terms of kit, in terms of usability, in terms of how good it is, if it's like broken, if it's super overrated, if it's, unfair, it's, I can't pinpoint what exactly needs to be fixed, obviously, because it's only been like less than a week. But I think you guys know. You can understand my standpoint that you can tell something's a little bit off and there's a little bit of tweaking to be desired. Yeah. Yeah. So when I say lag, I'm not talking about like internet connection lag. I'm talking about actual lag. Like the game's freaking graphic lag. Like it's actually choppy as shit. So it kind of ruins my rhythm and the timing of how I do shit. So yeah, so the only compromise before they actually update it is we gotta deal with what we can and lower the graphics. That's basically it. The next point is the fear of extinct mechanics. Okay, Tien's Rising Rush block mechanic thingy-majig, that's obviously a one-off. And yes, we got the freaking Vegito that does the same thing, but it's more like the offensive Rising Rush version. But, you know, that Tien mechanic thing, we can tell specifically that's kind of, it's not cheap, but it's kind of a so unique mechanic that they're not going to do that often, and they're not going to market it to like units and be like, here you go, here's the Goku Rising Rush block variant, here you go, slap it on somewhere and then fuck off. No, they're not going to do that. The fact that we got a bunch of new mechanics for part 2, which is good, it also makes me think, it's in the back of my head, it's not bad, but please tell me some of these mechanics that we love, please tell me these aren't one-off as well. Okay, Synchro Gauge, Summon Backup, please let those be actual mechanics that you are actually going to bring back, okay? Because I'm going to cry if you don't. So the con here is that even if they promise they're going to bring it back, you know, they're amazing ideas for like summon backup units in the community that we can bring about, like Cell Juniors. There's game original units that we think about still to this day, even though we only have one of those motherfuckers. And Synchro Gauge units, and you know, freaking unique to Baki, you know, ideas that come in the community. If you never bring that back, I'll actually freaking get depressed. So, alright, the next bad thing that got me into a lot of shit is 48-minute reveal, okay? 48-minute reveal is just as bad as a 1-hour one. And you know it's bad when even the top content creators, well, Western content creators, the English content creators of Dragon Ball Legends, split up their reactions of the reveal, okay? I think Garish and Ryuden, they're like, as soon as they reveal the characters, like the reveal music video or whatever the fuck, they're like, oh, that's great, that's one video, let's edit that and upload that. And then they do the slideshow, and then like Garish and Ryuden are like, okay guys, I don't give a fuck right now. Okay, we're gonna split up this video into like 3 videos because this reveal is too freaking long. So I really wish Legends understand that reveals should be reveals and unit breakdowns should be unique breakdowns or unique unit breakdowns. Okay, you want to build hype somewhere, and I think even during anniversary when you got a lot of stuff going on, you could have easily made it less than 30 minutes or 30 minutes or 25 minutes. Okay, I don't care about you talking about 2 minutes on this freaking login bonus and what we get, okay? I don't care. I don't know how you talk that long, okay? Okay, just please make it shorter. Okay, we're busy people. Especially when some of us have to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning or 4 a.m. in the morning for this. Next is equipment inflation ? I don't know. Even though we got the Bonanza shit going on, I still got this thing, especially like a few years ago or a couple of years ago or even 1 year ago, where I was like, why is it so hard to get good equipment? Like grinding equipment is kind of harder than summoning the new unit now. You know, it's like, okay, I got the new unit. It's amazing. It's great. You know, it's the highlight of the freaking season. Yay. But if I want to utilize him as much as I can, him or her, I kind of have to grind the right equipment. And a lot of the time, it's going to be equipment that's going to use up a lot of resources. And a lot of the time, it's going to use up a lot of resources just to get that marginal freaking... that marginal percentage at the top, because I hate when the percentages are when they're freaking big in variation, okay? Like, for example, base strike attack 5% to 35. Why the fuck is it from 5%? Aren't you a good equipment? Why the fuck is it from 5% or from 10%? Can't you make it like from 20 20% to 35. Okay, it's too much freaking grinding. Why'd you have to shaft me like this game? Like, you know, so I feel like they're doing that a little bit, and I think the community has come to the point where they're like, okay, if you really, really want to be in the top 10, if you really want to be in the top 15, you got the next step isn't to just get the unit, it's to actually get the right equipment and grinding the right equipment and do the best team formations, and you know, you gotta tailor to the right equipment where it says 3 battle members that are Saiyan Saga to get the most out of this specific Saiyan Saga unit, even though you don't have all of the Saiyan Saga units. So it's like, yeah, I need to shut the fuck up, but you get the idea. Also, can we get the fuck UMV out of the meta, please? Please. I know Hit did a good job, but I don't have fucking Hit. And also, I don't have Hit. And I do understand Margin Vegeta's kit is so freaking good. It's kind of hard to counter it, but every time Legends attempts to make a counter unit, it kind of goes through this freaking loop, this whole like loophole where it's like the counter unit for UMV does counter UMV, but that counter unit actually coordinates with UMV. So at the end of the day, it just makes UMV better. So like, oh, fuck this. So now we're reaching the end of the video. I think you've known at this point that there's nothing really wrong with part 2. If anything, it's amazing. Not perfect, but it's amazing. One of the best part 2s to come out. And here is I think at the end of this video, it's not really a bad thing, but more of like a what I would do for part 2. So I'm not saying Saiyan Saga is bad. It's not bad. But in an alternate universe, if I was the producer of part 2, if I was the director of part 2 and I needed to introduce the ground game and 7th anniversary is Goku and Vegeta themed, what would I pick for part 2? You know? And Saiyan Saga is out of the question because it doesn't come up in anyone's mind. So I don't want to hear people be like, oh, you hate Saiyan Saga. Like, shut the fuck up. It's not, no one's thought of Saiyan Saga, okay? It's nothing to do with Saiyan Saga. But this is what I'll do with these requirements of 7th anniversary, Goku and Vegeta themed, and you gotta introduce ground game mechanic. And it has to be iconic to, you know, debut the ground game. I would have LF base Vegeta revival into Goku. Oh, it's not revival, succession, okay? Succession. That'll be kind of cool, okay? It's Vegeta base, he's tanky as hell, he dies, it's the Namek Saga, he dies, he gives the succession speech and, you know, Goku, you're the freaking Super Saiyan, whatever, and then we play as base Goku, and he's mad. And then the LF is when he turns Super Saiyan. Kind of like how Yellow Bardock, where 100% of his kit is base Bardock, and only the LF animation is him Super Saiyan. So I think it'd be kind of cool if it's, you know, succession base Vegeta to base Goku, and then the LF animation is Super Saiyan, and then you introduce the ground sky and ground mechanic when he fights Frieza, and then the other LF is Frieza. So you introduce powerful opponent into the meta as well. And you're not making Saiyans, you know, every freaking part, you know, because part 1 is technically also Saiyans, part 2 is also technically Saiyans, and I can guarantee part 3 is also a Saiyan buff. So, powerful opponent, you're lucky if I was to make part 2. And I think that's very iconic enough where it's freaking Goku versus Frieza. That'd be kind of cool. And yeah, okay, this is not a dig against Saiyan Saga, okay? This is what I would do. And Saiyan Saga was just not a freaking thing that popped up in anyone's head. And yeah, that's what I think. And peace.